Good afternoon, it's DJ Rob. I'm going to try and go through 4 questions on this sheet with you. It is solving equations using the distributive property. It should have been handed to you. It's a single sheet. It's not in your packet. Please make sure that you have already copied down today's assignment onto your assignment sheet. If not, press pause and do so. Make sure that all your back homework is done and you have handed in your progress sheet if you did not already show me that. So I'm going to go through these 4 examples, and whatever is left over is homework, and it is both sides. So let's just start with the first example. I'm going to go over this more than one way. So for the first example, I'm going to use the checklist that you see on the back wall. Checklist says parentheses first. Are there any parentheses? Yes, there are. Parentheses is this 3's touching parentheses, which means multiplying, which means distributing. Don't forget you have an extra example up here. This is when we did the whole box method thing. The 3 is touching the parentheses, so the 3 touches the box. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 8 is 24, and that's a positive. So what I'm going to do now is move over here and rewrite that bigger. It's a 3x plus 24, and then I copy the rest of the equation that says equals -6. That is the first new step. I'm going to bet you could do the rest on your own. So I'm going to have you pause it. Even though this video is going to be very short, you should be taking your time. Move at your own pace. So pause the video, and then you could check to see if you could have correctly solved. Remember, we're going to work outside in. Toy soldiers before Bowsers, and that's the video explanation. The checklist explanation is, make sure you pause this before you listen. Okay, after you've done parentheses, you check for SSC according to that checklist. SSC means, can you combine like terms on the same side? Can you add these together? No, that's an X and that's not. I can't add these together, they're not on the same side. So check that. Opposite side like terms, is there an X over here? No, there isn't. These are like terms on opposite sides, so I can do the opposite. Another way to look at it is getting rid of addition or subtraction. Here's my addition. The opposite will be subtraction. Make sure you do that to both sides. Bring down what's left over. Make sure you put this in the calculator correctly. -6 minus 24, or -6 plus a -24, which comes out -30. Divide both sides by 3 to get rid of the coefficient. And x is -10. And you should totally check your answers. Since I'm not doing an official check, just go ahead, plug the numbers in, put it in your calculator, and make sure it comes out correctly. And it does. All right? And you can always rewind if you need to. All right, on the next question, I'm going to look at it more from a video game standpoint. I have the princess who is trapped inside a bubble or a force field with a toy soldier named 5, who has a weapon of plus. Bowser standing in front of the bubble. Now remember, you want to work outside in. So if I'm going to attack and save the princess, I'm going to get rid of Bowser first. What's the opposite of multiplication? It is division, and so I can do that right now. Now I can't do that for every problem. I'll get to a problem where you can't do that. But right here, this is all I need. I need to get at the bubble. There's nothing else that's going to come at me, so I can go straight for Bowser right now. So the coefficient of the bubble is gone, or the parentheses. A plus 5 is left over. You're probably liking this one better because you see it looks like it's less work. 75 divided by -5 is what, 15? With a negative? Yep. The signs are different. The answer is negative. The princess is released from the bubble. We get rid of the toy soldier. -15 and a -5, or -15 minus 5 is a -20. Let's check our work. Do you have to do checks on the whole page? No. But do them for the notes, please. Okay, so there's 2 fairly easy problems. We get to question 4. You would probably ask for help if I was here. Question 4, you're not gonna like, because the t is in a fraction instead of outside a fraction. But the same rules apply. I'm gonna do probably easier just to divide by 4 on this one. But I feel like I should probably practice the distributive property with a fraction. So I need to do 4 times t over 4 plus 4 times negative 2. Now I could have done that in a box, but instead I just did the rainbow, so I'm showing you a few different ways of doing stuff. What should happen with a 4 on the top and a 4 on the bottom? They divide off. And if you don't get that, what's in front of this t, but you don't see it? A 1. If you don't get that, do 4 times 1 over 4 in your calculator. Remember, you can't put the letters in your calculator. 4 times 1 over 4 will give you the answer 1, because these 4's divide off. So my new equation is 20 equals, the 4's divided off, I have just t, and 4 times negative 2 is a negative 8. You can do plus a negative 8, or you could do minus 8. So the opposite of this would be, I don't really like the 2 signs. Adding an opposite is the same as subtraction. So I'm going to change it to subtraction, and the opposite of that is addition. Oops, we should have paused it. Okay? There was one other way to do it. You could have just divided by the 4 that was in front and just got the whole bubble by itself. It would look a little different, but even if you do different work, if you're doing it correctly, you should get the same answer. So this guy's got to go next. Opposite of dividing is multiplying. You could look at this as a proportion and do cross multiplying if you wanted to. See, I get the same answer. Now, it doesn't matter to me which way you do, because both of them work. It only matters that you do them correctly. Here I divided by the coefficient. Here I distributed the coefficient. And you should, at some point, be ready to do a problem like the last problem. So turn to the back side, number 12. In question 12, I am not going to divide by this negative 3 first, because there are more things to worry about. That plus 2 on the outside, it's going to get you if you go here first. You would be going out of order. So, I don't know which ones you guys prefer, video game methods or checklists. If I do the checklist, parentheses comes first, so that would mean I distribute. If I'm doing the video game and I'm trying to save the princess, who's inside a bubble with a toy soldier, Bowser's protecting the bubble, and outside on the perimeter has another toy soldier, it makes sense that I have to take out this guy first. So minus 2. This is the video game analogy, and it works. Outside in. Easy, take out the easy guys first. So that guy's gone. This is all left as I didn't touch it. And now I could take out the person guarding the bubble so I can free her from that bubble, otherwise known as the parentheses. And then get rid of that last soldier guarding her. All right, here's the checklist way. There's 3 ways to do this, but I do want you to write down these 2. Okay, parentheses first means you got to distribute. Negative 3 times x, everybody is. And then what do you get here? Most people don't get this one right because it's a negative times a negative, which means it's actually a positive. And all this other stuff I didn't do needs to get copied. Now, we're at this point, we're still going forward. We're not going backwards. We're simplifying we simplified this into this, and we're going to keep simplifying before we solve. So I can simplify this. Okay, and I'm going to bet after that, now that it's as simple as I can get it, now I'll start solving what I call going backwards. So I'm going to get rid of the outside first, the furthest away from the princess. The opposite of a plus 30 is a minus 30. A 20 minus 30 is a negative. I must have messed something up. Oops. Negative 3 times negative 7 is positive 21. 21 plus 2 is 23. Oopsie daisies. Did you guys catch that? I knew I made a mistake because I wasn't going to get the answer I got before. So 20 minus 23 is a negative 3. Oh boy. And then I'm going to divide by negative 3. I'm pretty sure I did everything right here. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1. Did I get positive 1 over here? No. Can you find the mistake? If you caught my mistake, I want you to put it on an index card with your name and hand it to me tomorrow. We'll see if you can remember this. And I'll give you some extra credit. I'll give you an extra point on a homework, which will really help your homework average. So my mistake was right here. 18 divided by negative 3 is a 9. It's negative 6. Negative 6 plus 7 is positive 1. Now, if I was a student, I'd be using pencil, but I'm a teacher. I'm using pen so you can see it better. So please pardon my mistakes. But that's how we learn. We learn from mistakes. And we would check our answer anyway. If you're using a calculator, you're probably not going to get it wrong. Okay, so you have to complete this page using the method of your choice. And even though you don't have to show your checks on here, you should do them in the calculator and make sure you get them right. All right, have a good afternoon. See you tomorrow.